Okay, welcome to this lesson. What we're going to look at today is some of the operators on the J277 OCR specification, and particularly modulus. This is a question in the exam every year. So I'm going to go through division, modulus, div, and we're going to use some selection. So we'll use most of these in this program today. So what do we need to look at first? So if I make a variable called division, let's print that division. And let's make one called div and do the same, 11 divided by 2, and we print div. And finally, let's make one which is modulus, which is 11. Now, oh, sorry, I've missed a forward slash. I'll go through that now. 11 percentage. Go away from there. 2, and then print modulus. Okay. So it doesn't give you the actual what could you call them, symbol here. It just says mod and div. Division, you know from, we all know to divide on Python or whatever you're using now. But these two have two, so div is double forward slash and modulus is percent. Now, if I run these, you can see what we get back. Division is what you expect, all right, 5.5. Div just gives us an integer output, all right. Now that integer output is just saying how many times does 2 go into 11, and it's 5, and that's all you're going to get back. The modulus, it looks at how many times 2 goes into 11 and just gives us the remainder. All right, and that's what we're going to be working on today. Let's look at how we can utilize this in a real world situation. So let's take a payroll, for instance. So let's say full time equals 40. All right. Let's say employee equals int input. Remember your data types, okay? Because we're collecting hours here, so I'm going to use integer. And let's say enter how many hours worked this week, we'll say. Okay, so what we're going to do then is compare by using selection. So if employee is equal to full-time, notice I've set up 40 hours as a variable, and that's worth doing when you're writing your programs rather than writing 40 all the time, because this becomes more useful when you want to use variables to do maths with. So if employee equals full-time, what are we going to do? Well, we can just pay them the full rate. So let's say full rate, let's just make up a rate. Full rate equals employee times whatever we want. Let's say 10. All right, and then we'll print, let's say you have earned, let's put a pound sign in there. I'm going to make this a string because we all know by now that full rate is an actual integer, all right? And we need to concatenate strings and integers together. So we need to change this into a string, all right? Okay, so that's that. So what if else? What if they don't a week? So let's say not full-time equals employee what? Let's pay them 8. Okay, not full-time equals employee. Let's say print. Well, like I say, I'm making this up off the cuff. So anything that goes wrong, we can find out through the errors. You have earned, and let's say concatenate string let's get rid of this thing which I hate. Not full time. That's what I was looking for. The ID to pop my variable up. Okay, so very simple at the moment. If the employee is equal to 40 hours, we pay them that. If they're not equal to 40 hours, we're going to pay them this. All right. And that looks about right to me. Let's just test that actually. So let's say 40. There you go. Let's say 32. Pays it at the lower rate. I need to plug my computer in. Sorry. Okay. So if or else, pretty simple. That's a standard selection problem, which you should all have no problem doing now. Okay. But we are looking at this and how we can implement it into a program. So there's something we haven't considered here, and that's what if they earn more than 40 hours or work more than 40 hours a week. So we need an extra. So we if employee is greater than 40, what happens then? Okay, so we're going to use modulus, and what we're going to do is let's call it mod rate. So if mod rate equals employee, and I'm going to use mod 40, and I'll explain what's going on now. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm expecting anything over 40 now to be caught here in this LF, all right? And I'm using mod 40, which means 40 goes into 40, doesn't it? That's it once, it's going to go in once. So anything over 40, like 42, those extra hours are going to be caught here. All right, so mod rate is going to hold the extra hours, anything extra than 40, basically. So if I said print, we'll say the same. Let's say you have worked. Now we need to string that mod. So we're going to tell them how many more hours they've worked. Mod rate. So you so you have worked however many hours extra. All right. Now let's see if that runs for a second. So let's do like 43 hours. Yes. So it's been caught. So we've used the mod. Because 40 is the full-time rate, we've modded it by 40. So anything over 40 is going to give us our extra hours, and it's going to be caught in this variable here. Okay. Okay, that's great. So now what we can do is set, because if you think about it, we haven't set the rate of pay for anything over 40 hours yet. So we need to do that. So let's say overtime equals mod rate, because don't forget, if I put 42 in here and this gets mod using the modulus, and we've got 2 hours extra, mod rate holds those 2 hours extra. Okay, so overtime is going to be mod rate times whatever we want to give. So let's say it's 1350, right? That's the overtime. And then we can say print, we can say what? Your overtime pay equals, and then give a pound sign here and concatenate and put string. And what do we want? A string overtime. That looks pretty good to me. So anything over 40 we catch in this variable here. The modulus is being performed, okay? Then we print how many hours extra they've worked, and then we set an overtime, and we charge, we pay the extra hours mod rate by the overtime rate, and then print it out. So let's have a look at that. So let's put 42 hours in. you've worked 2 extra hours and your overtime pay is £27. Well, it is, because 2 13.50s are 27. Okay. You could then at the end add, and I'm not going to do that for you, you can do that. You know where the overtime rate is, okay? You know where your full rate is, so you could hold a variable here, which does the maths and pays out your 40-hour rate plus your overtime rate, okay? And then you can go on and you can take tax off it and do whatever you want to improve your program, okay? And that's a simple real-world situation where we could use modulus. There's many aspects where we could use like bus ticket machines, car parking machines, etc. All right. Like I said, so have a look at this video. Any problems you get, you can contact me. But I think I've covered everything in there, and that will allow you to go on and improve this and make a better quality payroll program. And I'll see you in the next video.